Have you ever experienced a moment when you feel like you witnessed the reign of God? When, even if only briefly, you touched the promise of God's mañana? In Espanol, mañana has multiple meanings with shades of difference. It can mean the morning or tomorrow, as in the next day, or it can mean an indefinite future. Mañana es una palabra that conveys God's reign as inbreaking, as both present and not yet, aquí and allá. Many years ago, I had an opportunity to interpret for Stevie Wonder, the talented musician who became blind after birth. The day we met, he was one of the performers at a Housing Now rally advocating for affordable homes for all. Among the tens of thousands of participants gathered in Washington, D.C., were some deaf students from Gaudete University. When they discovered that I knew sign, they asked me if I would introduce them to Stevie Wonder. I went to the security officer and made the request. A minute later, I'm explaining the situation to Stevie Wonder. He replied with a request of his own. How does one sign, I love you? Guiding his hands, he touched the words. Stevie then turned around and moved towards the deaf jóvenes. He stopped before them and signed clearly. The unexpected greeting in their own language brought exclamations, signs, gritos de alegría y tears of joy. Abrazos followed all around, and in that moment, a flash of insight. This is what the prophet Isaiah meant. Then will the eyes of the blind be opened. The ears de los sordos se abrirán. This is the same message that Jesus conveys to the disciples of John the Baptist. Go, tell John what you have witnessed. The blind see, the deaf hear, the poor have the good news proclaimed to them. In and through the incarnation, divine communication is embodied in the Logos, expressed in our diverse languages, lived in our different bodies. This is the source of joy we celebrate on Gaudete Sunday, the hope we strive to live into, cultivate, and embrace, because the Word of God is made flesh. God with us is one of us. On that day, many years ago, in the company of thousands united by a desire for housing justice, and solidaridad with many people who were made poor and vulnerable and without homes, the presence of God's reign broke in. Barriers to communication fell. Obstacles to relationships collapsed. In a moment of convivencia, I witnessed una promesa of God's mañana.